Hey everybody, welcome back to ESA. I'm here with Jazzy, Speedrunners.
Hello.
What do you got in store for us?
Right. The category that I run for this game is gonna be any percent inbounds challenge mode, which is gonna be the new challenge mode that was implemented, I guess, like about a month ago now. So it's not the one where you start off with 1 health and the heat resist suit. It's the one where you start off with the dashes instead. So the way you initiate that is just holding left during this menu. So I guess I'll just get started here.
Yeah. I haven't shown off the hard mode either, where you hold right. What's the difference with that? You just have less health, right?
Yeah, you just have less health and you start off with the heat resist suit only. Whereas this, you have the horizontal and vertical dashes. So I guess right off the bat, I'll explain some of the movement techniques that we do in this game. And in the like the speedrunning community, we apparently like naming things really silly things. So you can dash off of like platforms like edges. You can dash off of them twice like that. And because it's like a double dash, we call it a Mario Kart because the Mario Kart game Double Dash.
All right.
So yeah, we have like really stupid names for things. But you can also do the same thing where you have those, like a few frames to jump out of the first dash, like like that, and then you can still get a double jump after that. And that's like an NSJ, which stems from Crash Bandicoot 3 speedrunning, which I won't get into that much, but just so people know the names of techniques if I guess refer to them later on.
Starting with dash is definitely going to speed things up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like those are the two strongest movement power-ups we get. And also,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, one important thing to note, I guess, with running this game is the dash does damage to a lot of different things, so makes the first boss very, very trivial to handle.
Yeah, I saw it did damage. I didn't realize it did that much, though.
Yeah. And I guess also to sort of explain the timer on the left of the screen, because I don't know how much your audience knows about speedrunning, but it's a program called LiveSplit, which every like segment you see there is called one single split. So hence the name splits, and it keeps track of how fast we're going essentially. So right there we got the double jump power up, which is gonna be really useful. Oop.
You still need that even though you have a vertical dash?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you like really need it, but it's like so useful that it's actually still worth it to get it.
Do you need the grappling hook?
You do, yes.
I see you're
Especially,
going that way.
yeah, especially with some of the new, semi-new skips that we've found recently. It's like absolutely necessary to do that skip now. So you need the grappling hook for that. Which I'll get to whenever we get to Serpent 5.
So what bosses actually have to die here to unlock the final boss?
Hang on. Scrapping unit, security overmind, class D, class C guardians.
Okay, those are the four in that room.
Yeah. And once again, this goes a lot faster with dashes. Now, these terminals are like RNG, which again, if you're new to speedrunning, that stands for random number generator. So essentially, it's random which side the first terminal spawns in.
Yeah, I was doing the boss rush, and this guy's the first
Yeah.
that really hurts me.
I actually did that pretty badly. I had to do it slow so that I would die at the end. But yeah, yeah.
He's dangerous.
Now this is the first part where the NSJ comes in really handy because you can make it through this entire room with just doing one hook shot. Like, well, not like that, but yeah, that's the basic idea of it anyway. There we go.
Okay, teleport card.
Yeah,
That seems like an obvious thing.
it's not too out of the way, and obviously, it lets you. It'll be useful for Class C Guardians. I want to say I always get Class C and Class D confused, like mixed up. Is Class?
What I'm confused about is plasma field. Why is that getting picked up?
Well, that'll be evident as well because of how fast it is to get whenever we get there. But it's gonna do a lot of damage on the final fight in the end.
All right.
But yeah, it's actually like right in the way of where we need to go anyway, so might as well pick it up. Slight detour here to pick up the teleporter so that we can teleport here later on.
You're gonna end up doing the final boss with no health, basically, right? Like 10.
10 health, yeah. You don't get any health upgrades in the run.
See, that's pretty tough. Just that's part of why I don't think I can do this.
Yeah. I mean, when I was first like learning like the game and like playing through it casually, it definitely took me a lot of attempts to even beat the final boss first try. So, but I mean, you get used to it the more you play the game, obviously.
Sure. I mean, I was trying to learn these bosses for the boss rush, and they are just so hard to do, some of them.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about doing them with no HP,
Yeah. One weird thing to note about that big green dude that was here, dashes don't actually damage him for whatever reason. But yeah, you actually have to come back to this room a second time later on, and that reiteration of the room we call the fun room, because it's by far the hardest room in the speedrun to do fast.
oh yeah, I remember it. I remember that room, yeah.
Oops. And right here, because we have the dashes, we have access to actually get into this screen where the teleporter is. So once again, we'll have like quick access to that room later on.
This is an interesting route.
Yeah.
You're kind of all over the place. Oh.
Yeah, this is another room that's pretty hard to do because of trying to do like the double dashes and whatever. And I should mention the we're not entirely sure how big the frame window is for the jump out of the dash, but I'm fairly sure in saying that it can't be more than 3 frames. So it's kind of tough to get the timing down initially, but it is pretty consistent once you do. You can make it past the data disk without picking it up, but it's kind of awkward.
Speedrunner worries about single frames, I forgot.
Yeah.
You picked up a disc for like 1/4 of a second. Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. It's a run over immediately. But yeah, we're coming up on the plasma field now, which is a lot easier to get in this mode than you would think, because once you touch that wall, for whatever reason, it'll let you dash again. So yeah, here we are. It's like a 5-second detour to get that plasma field. Which also used to be like necessary to beat Serpent 5 as well. But in this new route, we're gonna do some interesting things. Do not have to worry about that.
That's another boss that really messes me up.
Yeah. But yeah, what you used to have to do with that boss is in the speedrun route, you sort of get inside of him, and the plasma field just does all of the damage. So you can just like sit inside of his hitbox and just continuously do damage to him. But it is kind of tricky too, because he does a lot of damage to you, so you can't take too many hits or else you die.
I assume you're picking up charge shot too, because
Yeah.
this is right there.
Oops. Come on. There we go.
Is that it for upgrades? I can't think of any other ones.
It is, yeah.
Not worth picking up the supercharger.
Nah. So, the trigger for Serpent 5 spawning is like one tile above these platforms. So if I can either just charge over them, or I can, like, there, see, I like hit the corner of it. So I'll have to kill myself now to show the faster way of doing this. But yeah, you can either just like swim across the entire arena, or just sort of dash past it. But the dashing is kind of hard to do consistently. And yeah, there I actually accidentally showed off the hitbox thing. Where you just sort of wedge yourself inside the hitbox.
Wow.
But yeah, if I just swim over here and do something that we call a hookshot jump, like that, we can just get to the other side of the arena.
Oh,
Now,
man, it reminds me of the X2 jump where you just jump with the buster.
yeah. Now that is just, it's pretty simple inputs. It's just you jump first and then do a like double jump and hit hookshot immediately afterwards. We're pretty sure this is a frame perfect trick, which first off sounds really hard to do, but when you think about it, it's the best kind of frame perfect, where it's just hitting two inputs really close to each other. So it honestly isn't as hard as it sounds to do. But yeah, you can just do that and then just dash upwards once, and you can skip doing the Serpent 5 fight altogether.
Alright. I wonder if that works in the boss rush. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, you should. So, we don't really understand how this works normally, but the way this boss works is sometimes it kills itself automatically when it spawns, but it's somehow like linked to the Serpent 5 fight. So under normal circumstances, if I beat Serpent 5 and come here fast enough, fight the boss normally, it'll just explode immediately. But because I skipped the Serpent 5 fight, if I activate this terminal, he'll spawn in normally and I'd have to fight him. And we don't really know how that works at all, but what I can try and do here, and fail, apparently. I'm just gonna kill myself because this is really interesting to show off. But I can do something.
Yeah, sure.
I can do something called text storage, which will keep that text box on screen the entire time, so that the boss trigger doesn't exist yet. And you can also do it like right after the intro cutscene, so that you can skip activating the very first terminal in the game. But they only say it's like half a second to a second, so it's not really worth like resetting over, for instance, if you're grinding out runs. But yeah, I mean, you can do it at every single terminal, so I can do it here, for instance, like that.
Oh, I see. Oh no.
And it'll just stay on screen until the text boxes end. And it also has some like interesting side effects. Like, as you can tell, that like jelly isn't moving at all because the text box is on screen. So it'll stay on screen, stay there,
Yeah.
doing nothing. It's the same thing like the golden mushrooms, like shoot out the 4 spores or whatever. They never shoot out the spores if you have the tech storage going on. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, the boss didn't spawn at all, and I could just leave without fighting him ever. And having this text box on screen also, because it's the one that activates the power, it means that I can do a little shortcut as well. That doesn't save too much time, but it is kind of neat. So yeah.
Because the power puts on a bunch of like walls in the way and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. These golden mushrooms, they don't actually do anything because of the text storage again. So here normally if I didn't have text storage over, I'd have to go like way over there and go around, but I can instead just go through here because these doors aren't activated yet. This is another thing why Plasma Field is really good, because you don't have to really worry about that robot at all. And at this point, we're just gonna activate all the terminals to get into the security overmind fight.
Right, I remember this. 4 of these. One of them is the room you were talking about before.
Yes.
Security overmind seems like a nightmare because you have to make him hit himself, and it seems like it would take forever.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of length, I guess it is kind of bad, but it honestly, in my opinion, is the easiest boss in the speedrun. Because all you have to do is just avoid hits, and once you know the patterns and such, it's not too hard to do.
Well, he sure kicked my ass.
Oh. That's like the only room in the game that I haven't routed out properly yet. You can probably tell.
Hazards.
Yeah.
What's a good run for this game? 1630. I see is your PB.
Yeah, 1630 is my current PB, and it is the world record at this point. But
oh yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. But it doesn't have the Serpent 5 skip that I mentioned in it at all. So there is technically like a free 30 seconds to save off of that. So like an optimal time would probably be around like a 1550 at this point.
And you'd be cruising. There are a couple other categories for this game. This one's the inbounds, right? So
yes.
Want to talk about the other one?
Yeah, so this is the inbounds one, which is pretty self-explanatory. You just play through the game as fast as possible. And there's the other one. I mean, there's multiple ones, but the any percent and any percent inbounds are the main ones. So in the any percent category, what you do is in the first boss, when the block stairs appear, you can sort of wedge yourself into the first block that appears and just go out of bounds immediately. So you just go out of bounds and find your way to the last to Virus. So you beat Virus with 10 health and no power-ups, which is insanely hard to do. Which I haven't even attempted that run myself, because again it would be like super frustrating to grind out runs for.
Judgment boss fight. I can barely beat him with everything.
Yeah. It was definitely the hardest part for me as well when I was learning the speedrun for this.
I think once you realize you can dash through this boss, he's a lot easier.
So yeah, one little neat thing there is you can sort of manipulate. Like normally you'd have to wait for that big like plasma ball or whatever to hit the ground once, so you can bring it over to this dude. But you can just dash over him once, and you can hit him on like the first cycle.
Oh yeah, you're shutting this guy down. This took me like 5 tries.
Yeah. And you can move during this fade out, so I'm like already up here.
Wow.
And now all that's left is the virus fight. Which still includes one little trick here, so you can, like, when you hookshot stuff, it like pushes you downwards a little bit initially, so you can make it past these platforms by just doing a hookshot.
Oh yeah, I found out about that a little while ago, and I did that myself. That exact same thing.
Right? Yeah. So the first 2 phases of this fight actually aren't too bad. I say that and immediately take 3 damage. And as you can see there's like a certain spot, I think it's like 3 pixels away from the boss, where if you stand in the right place, the balls that he shoot like never really hit you at all. And I should also mention it's always faster to use the charge shot unless whatever you're shooting has like less than 3 health, pretty much.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I've tried just spamming and it doesn't seem like it works.
Yeah. So optimally, you'd enter this last phase with 7 or more health, so that you can finish the like last phase of it in 3 cycles, but you can still do it just fine with 5. Again, utilizing the plasma field a lot here.
Yeah, it's definitely working out. So these things don't do contact damage unless they're glowing, right?
Yeah. The thing that I just got there is fast hands, which, again, we don't really know how that works, but sometimes the hands just start their cycle, like right there again. They start their cycle a lot earlier than they normally would. So it's really annoying when that happens.
It's RNG what he's doing, right?
Yeah, that too. And the hands on contact damage do 4 damage to you, so it's 3 hits total if you're at max health and you die. Yeah, let's actually focus here and do this properly.
I race a couple games. I do a lot of casual races and stuff, and the difference between trying to get a world record and just racing and trying to win that is huge.
Oh yeah. I've done a lot of like blind races and stuff as well. Like I recently raced Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with a bunch of friends, and you can just like mess around and just have fun when you're racing with people, but it is a lot different when you're actually grinding out attempts.
And when you're trying to win a race, even if you know the game well, you don't want to take very many risks. Versus trying to get a world record, you want to take every risk you can.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially if the run's as short as this one. Like, with some speedruns that are like, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half, for example, you can afford like using some slower strats because the run is so much longer.
Now, this boss has a lot of involved frames on his head.
Yeah. That was fast hands again.
Didn't get you.
And again, actually. And again, it really likes giving me those today, apparently. So I couldn't actually show you the fast cycle, but whatever. This should still work just fine.
How's that work? Do you tank any damage or?
Yeah, you essentially just double jump where his head is and then just like charge upwards so that the plasma field does the most damage. And more fast
Alright.
hands. Yeah. Actually, that's not a split yet.
Well, good work.
Yeah, thank you. The timing for this run ends when you skip the last text box that's about to appear in a little bit. So, that would be the run.
It ends with full. Alright. Well, that's any percent inbounds. How long you been working on this this run?
I've been doing it on and off quite a bit. Like, initially when I first learned the route and the strats and whatever, I think it took me like 2 days. And then I finished one run just to make sure that I knew and like remembered everything. And it's quite funny actually. After that, I think it took me like another 2 weeks to actually finish another run. And that was actually the 1632. So that was world record on the second run that I was actually finished. But yeah, I don't actually have like a lot of hours put into this game. If you like look at my Steam or whatever, I think I have like 55 hours or whatever in total.
Oh yeah, that's surprising. You got the hang of this quick.
Yeah.
What a happy ending. I always like this ending. Honestly, most of the endings in this game are pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, there is a category for a lot of the different endings as well. Like there's an alien ending and a planet side ending like category for this.
Oh man, the alien ending, the one we just saw, would be like an hour. It looks like the world record's an hour, 56 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez. That would be getting everything in puzzle mode and getting that weird usurper kind of ending thing.
Yeah. There's definitely quite a lot more to that than there is to the challenge mode in Bounce Run.
That's basically, you could just call it 100%.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's honestly more than that, because you would grab everything and you would kill every boss, and then you still have to do the puzzle stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it gives you the game time at the end.
I mean, that picture. I've never seen that picture.
And pretty nice too, with like the brain just sitting in the jar.
I wonder what other ones he's got there. Is that for completion percent or something?
I'm not actually sure how that's determined.
That's interesting. I've seen a few. I usually get these creepy faces now.
But yeah, I guess if I'm gonna show off the auto bounds a little bit, like the initial auto bounds, the first thing you want to make sure that you have is auto jump has to be enabled. Like technically you don't need it, but you'd have to be insane to go without it, essentially.
So this run, the out of bounds ending, is like 5 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I think Puppet Master has been the only one that's actually done runs of it, because again, it is like,
It looks like he's done it in like 6 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, it is because it is like so hard to actually do.
You're gonna have to go kill the boss after getting to him. That's the hard part for sure.
I'm just gonna make sure that I kind of do this right, so I'm just gonna wait a cycle and make sure the boss is over here, because the boss actually kind of has like an explosion radius, which is kind of silly. So yeah, as you can see here, like the last block doesn't spawn at all because I'm at the bottom of it. So if I just actually, I'm just gonna wait on this slime. Yeah, kill that first. So I blame my keyboard for that, because like occasionally it does a thing where it like gets stuck on a key and just keeps moving all the time. There we go.
Nice.
So yeah, controls when this happens are inverted. So if I want to go left, I need to press right, and it obviously vice versa. And the reason why you want to have jump, like auto jump on, is in order to go down, you have to jump repeatedly. So technically, it isn't needed, but you'd have to be insane to just keep mashing jump all the freaking time to actually, if you want to go down. And yeah, the loading zones are pretty precise, so you can't just like be down here to like transition like it would normally transition. But if I just let it go upwards a little bit, there you can see it transitions. And yeah, you just stay out of bounds, and you can shoot to tell where you are and stuff. And yeah, in the category, you just do this out of bounds and find your way to the virus and fight the virus. And you can also just go into this black void and chill.
that's a nice place.
Yeah, there's no way out of this without exiting the game, so you're stuck here if you do this.
What happens if you come back in? Do you get the fisherman?
Restart the game, you mean?
Yeah.
It just puts you back into whatever save you've last activated.
Oh yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
Which, by the way, you can activate saves from out of bounds. That is a thing, but that is also pretty precise to do.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a completely different run though. That's
Yeah.
using walls to your advantage. Well, that's all we got, right? Thanks for coming. These are interesting to see.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You want to drop your Twitch channel?
Yeah, so I stream speedruns a lot, this game, and also a lot of other stuff, including Bastion and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines at the moment. I'll probably expand to some other stuff and go back to other games that I've done before. But my channel's for speedrunning, and it's just twitch.tv/jazzy.
Well, these are definitely interesting. I was watching Bloodlines too. That's interesting too. So go check that out, guys. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So all we have left in this LP is a whole bunch of secrets. We've got so many secrets. I don't know how many episodes it's going to take, actually. We're going to do our best to wrap it up next time, though. See you then.